So here we are. Now there are various ways to composting. What I show you today is about aerobic composting. How do you do it? So this is a very useful gadget, a very eco-friendly gadget which I use, and this is available on a website. The link of the same will be shared in below. So what happens is that these are earthen pots. There are three compartments, compartment A, B and C, and if you see, they have holes. This is for the air to let in, helping in the aerobic composting. So now I will show you how does this work, what exactly is the magic behind this khamba. So this is how it looks from inside. So if you see, there is a mess below, and the reason for that is it helps for the air circulation, enhancing the composting. So now we start the process. How does it work? So you take compartment A and spread a newspaper down. This would help in two ways. One, not allowing the waste collected here going further down to compartment B. Second, it would absorb the excess moist of the wet waste. After layering the newspaper, we now take some dry leaves. Dry leaves also absorb the wet waste moisture, and it is the one which provides the carbon required for composting. Where do you get the dry leaves? Of course, we all stay in an environment where we are lucky enough to still have surrounded with trees. The leaves falling from the trees, you can collect it or ask any of your helper to get some of the dry leaves every day for you. So now we layer the newspaper and then we put some dry leaves down. After adding the dry leaves, as I showed you earlier, the kitchen waste which I collected, if you see, the pomegranate peels were further chopped down into small pieces. The same reason being helping in the acceleration of the composting. So after you spread the dry leaves, you add on your kitchen dry waste, wet waste, sorry, and then just churn it inside. After that, you need to introduce microorganisms for the composting to start. What do you do? Where do you get it from? The buttermilk which you use in the kitchen. Of course, this buttermilk needs to be sour. So you make the buttermilk and keep it outside for 2-3 days. That would introduce the microorganisms into your composting process. So you just sprinkle a few drops of it. And then, to keep away the fruit flies, the most important step is to again cover this part with some dry leaves. As I explained to you earlier, the same two benefits of adding the dry leaves. One, the moisturizer. Second, the carbon required for your composting. And of course, the fruit flies will find it difficult to get through the dry leaves. So this would help to reduce the maggots in your composting. Finally, you further cover this with a piece of newspaper. So after we cover it with the newspaper, this is the lid which comes along with this khamba. We cover it, and every day you just keep on adding. You remove the newspaper out and you keep on adding your dry waste, the dry leaves, sorry, the wet waste, the dry leaves and the microorganism through the buttermilk. Once the A cabinet is filled, you move it to the bottom and then you start filling up the next cabinet, that's cabinet B. The two things which needs to be taken care of, one is that the compost shouldn't get dried up, so you need to keep on sprinkling some water, and second is you can also add few drops of the buttermilk in between to accelerate the process. This khamba is suffice enough for a family of 4 generating 25 kg of wet waste in a month. So at the end, you're protecting Mother Earth by not sending the wet waste in the landfill. Instead, you are creating compost at home. And what you do with that compost? Two things. One, you grow your own organic fruits and vegetables at home. Second, the best way to gift nowadays is either a plant or you gift your compost, 100% organic compost. So what's the end product? This is the compost which you get at the end of 65 days. And if you see, it's really moist and it has a very earthy smell. Now, the two things which I told you earlier also is one, that you need to take care of the moisturizer content in your compost. The last thing which I would like you to mention is that after every 4 to 5 days when you're adding the wet waste, you need to keep on stirring the compost which is under process. Why? Because this would help the air to circulate in your compost and it will give a very good end result, a very 100% organic fertilizer for your plants. So here you are. You can have this for any of your purpose in the garden or as a gift. So friends, I hope you liked our video and you understood the process of aerobic composting. One request to all of you, that when you're doing this at home, I would request all of you to involve your kids who would love to do this and understand the importance of segregation and the reason for segregation. Once the entire family is involved in this composting, I'm very sure that you would enjoy the entire process of seeing the breakdown and giving back to Mother Earth what we take from her. So, coming up next in our video is one more method of composting. And guess what? Yes, it's the farmer's best friend, the earthworms. So we would be telling about the vermiculture, and I'm sure when you show this that your kids would love to have 100 pets together in their house. They would be super duper excited to have so many pets and to feed them every day.